Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of PHP machines. In this episode, we will create a simple machine. The machine will show today's day. So today is Sunday, so the machine will display Sunday. If I run the machine tomorrow, it will display Monday. So before we start building this machine, let's first understand how these machines are created. I would like to share this website w3schools.com. This website is pretty old and it has excellent tutorials for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and other technologies. We'll use this website for reference, for quick reference. So we will use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP primarily to create these machines. Now, first let's understand what is the function of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. Now, let me open a machine that we all may be familiar with. So this is google.com. So here to build this machine, we need HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. Now let's see how HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP can be used to create machine like this. Now this is an example of a machine and a pretty powerful machine. So a machine basically has two parts. It has a page and then it has a function, right? So we can see this page, and if I type in something here, PHP, and click on search, then this machine will perform some action. If I click here, then what this machine did was it went to the internet and found everything related to PHP and displayed the results here, right? So in this machine, HTML was used to create elements of this page. For example, here we have a text box, here we have an image, here we have a button, here we have a link. The HTML is used to create elements like this in this page, and CSS is used to give styling so that the page looks nicer. Now if I remove the CSS, so let me remove the CSS. You can see if I remove the styling, then the page doesn't look nice anymore. The styles has changed. So HTML is used to create these page elements. CSS is used to make the page look nicer, to make things larger, smaller, add color, things like that. And JavaScript is used to make this page little interactive so that it isn't very static. And still, by that I mean you can do things like if I click here, then this box opened, right? So this is an example of interactivity, and if I click here, then this box opened. So things like this can be done using JavaScript. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript will be used to create this page, and we can call this page user interface, or we'll use this page in order to use the machine, right? In order to use this machine, we'll need to interact with this page. So this front page will be created using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the main function of the machine. For example, Google, the main function of Google is to search whatever we ask, right? So if I write HTML and click search, now what the action it performs, it will be done by PHP. Okay. After this, we will need a place for our machine to live. So after we build our machine, we'll upload it or we'll deploy it to some other computer, and we'll access that machine using our browser, right? We'll type in the address of our machine and the machine will load. So there are many services that provide hosting. This is called hosting, and if we search free PHP hosting, then Google will provide us many hosting services. Any service can be used, but I'll use Infinity Free. You may use 000webhost.com or space or any other services, but I'll be using Infinity Free. So next, let's go to elementary schools and let's see few examples of HTML. Okay, like I said before, HTML is nothing but just tags, right? So HTML will be HTML will be used to create elements of the page. So here we can see at the left I will be writing HTML tags, and on the right you will be seeing the page. So now there are many tags in HTML, and each tag is used for a particular function. Each tag has particular function. So if I need to create a heading, then I will use S1 tag and put heading. Now if I click run, then we can see here a heading was created. Thirdly, if I want to create subheading, then I can use S3 tag. You can see a subheading has been created. After that, I can add a divider using an SR tag. Divider has been created. After that, I can create paragraphs. Paragraphs are created using P tag. You can see paragraph has been added, and we can create another paragraph by copying this code here. So you can see HTML will be used to create elements of the page. Finally, we can create buttons. So these were a few examples of the HTML tags that we can use to create our page. Next, let's see what CSS is used for. So in CSS, in HTML we have tags, and in CSS we have properties, right? So these are all properties, and these properties are used to give styling to the page. So now let me apply some CSS to this page to make it look nicer. So the way we use CSS is inside the head tag we create style. We put CSS inside style tag. So the way CSS works is I select an element or tag, and then I give styling. For example, I selected body, and I can change the background color to something like black. The background color changed to black. At the same time, I can change the text to white. So change the color of text. We can use color property. We can see the text color has changed to white. Now I can select this heading. So let me style the heading. Let me make the heading a little larger. We can use font size CSS property, and if I put 2 em, then if I put something like 10 em, then it should make the heading a lot larger. Let's make it 5 em. After that, we can also align the heading to the center. For that, we can text line center. So you can see these are few examples of using how we can use CSS. Then we can style the button. For that, I need to select the button, and I can give styling like I can add the inner spacing. For example, I can give 20 pixel of inner spacing, so this will put little bit spacing inside. After that, I can change the font size to something like this. Will make the font 2 times larger. Similarly, I can change the background color of the button as and I can center align the button. So for that, I can just let me center align the whole thing, whole page. If I put text align in the body, then it will um, center align all the elements. This is how we can use HTML and CSS to create our pages. Now let me show a few examples of how JavaScript can be used to add interactivity to our pages. Instead of writing the code here, I will just show a few examples as that will be quicker. So if we go here in JS examples, so using JavaScript we can do things like so here we have a form element drop down select box. If I click a button here, then this element has been disabled, right? So I won't be able to change the value here. If I click here, then it has enabled again. So this was done using JavaScript. Similarly, let's see other examples. So we can do things like if I click somewhere, then an alert will appear, right? So if I click here, then it says you clicked on image. If I click here, it says you clicked on p element. So things like these can be done using JavaScript. So we can do things like if I click here, it now shows a confirm box. So a confirm box has two buttons, OK and cancel. So sometimes we will need a functionality like this. Let's see other examples. So we can do things like if I click here, it displays the date. So we can do things like if the browser is resized, then it will automatically detect the width and height of our page and display. So we can see here if I change the size of the page, then the value changes here. So things like this can be done using JavaScript. uh, let me share another example. This is one of the machines that I created, and in this machine the way JavaScript is used is if we hover over the menu items, then we can see a drop down list here appear, and if we hover over some of the options, then another list appears here, right? So things like these can be done using JavaScript. JavaScript will be used to add interactivity like this. And finally, the function of PHP will be to actually implement the work of the machine. So like in the example of google.com, so PHP could be used to create the function of Google. So what is the function of Google? The function of Google is if I write something here, if I search something here, then it goes to the internet and finds everything related to the thing I searched. So that functionality, that feature will be created using PHP. Now after this brief overview, let's now start building our machine for today. So I will be using Infinity Free for hosting our machine. So I have already created a account here. So let me quickly log in. And so if you choose Infinity Free, you need to create an account inside here as well. This will be for our machine. This will provide us the address of our machine. So if I go inside here, we need to go to File Manager, and there is a htdocs folder. So our code needs to reside inside here. So I go inside here. So now let's create our PHP file here. I will name it index.php. Okay, now let's write our HTML code. So HTML is started using doc type HTML. After that, we create HTML section. Inside HTML, there will be a head and then body. Just for quick test, let's just add a heading and let's write here hello from PHP. Now we need to save this file, and so we have just created a simple greeting machine here. Now the way to access our machine is to know the address of our machine. So it is here. So now if we go to our address phpmachines.infinityfree.com, then we can see here it says hello from PHP. Okay, let's write a simple PHP code here. To write PHP code, we need to write the PHP code inside this block, inside this PHP block. So to print something, we use the echo command. Try echo hello. It should print hello. So let's just save it and let's run our machine. We can see here, we can see a page with hello. Now we can also see the code by right clicking and clicking view page source. So you can see here the code looks similar but not exact. What we will notice is we won't see the PHP block, right? This is because the PHP block is executed on the server, and only the thing that is printed by the PHP will be returned. We can see the PHP code printed hello, so we can see hello here, and we can see other HTML code. We need to remember this. We won't be able to see the PHP code because the PHP code will be run first on the server and it will be returned. Whatever the PHP will return will be returned from the server. So now let's make the machine print today's day. In order to print today's day, we use date function. We don't need to understand anything about function right now. This is just an example to build our first machine and to see it work quickly. In the future episodes, we'll be using functions and we'll also be creating our own functions. But for now, let's just use echo date in order to make the machine print today's day. So it has correctly printed today's day. Today is Sunday. Now if I load this machine tomorrow, then it should print Monday, right? After this, so the machine now is working. But let's now make this page look a little bit nicer. For that, we will be using CSS. So inside here, let's create a style block. Now, in order to make our page look nicer, let's incrementally add styling. So let me first add a background color to the body. Let's use tomato color. You can see here the page has changed. The color, the background color has changed. After this, let's make the text size little bit larger. For that we can use CSS font size property. Can make something like 10 em, which will make the size 10 times larger. uh, Saving. We can see here the size has increased. After that we can also change the font style. For that we can use font family, and we can name a font here something like. We now check our page. We can see our font style has changed. Finally, let's align this text to the center of our page. So for that we can use text align and give the value of center. That will put it in the center. And to make this a little to bring this name little bit down, we can use padding top, and we can put something like 200 pixel. So in this way our simple machine has been completed. Actually, let's put it little bit lower. So in this way our simple machine has been created. So if we load our machine by going to our URL, it will display the today's day. So if I run this machine tomorrow or Wednesday or Saturday, then it should print Wednesday or Saturday depending upon the day. So in this episode we have created a simple machine using HTML, CSS and PHP. In the next episode we'll create other machines. At the start we'll create simple machine, but as time progresses we'll build up the complexity and create more interesting machines. So I hope this episode was helpful and you learned something. If you like this episode, please like, share and subscribe. And also please leave your questions, comments on the comment section. I'll try my best to help you with any questions you have. So this much for now. See you in the next episode. Thank you.